It's a hard one, isn't it? If you don't get on with the mum, can that relationship ever go anywhere, really?
The thing is, it's the most difficult thing in the world. I mean, my mother-in-law couldn't stand me. My mother and husband hated each other.
Really?
And, you know, you live with that all your life, and you either cope with it or you don't. And I had to cope with the fact that my mother and... They couldn't be in the same room. I mean, they hated each other so much.
So awkward.
Yeah, and my mother-in-law just didn't want anybody to marry her son.
Put you off wanting to marry your then husband?
No,
because your mum
we
didn't
did
like
get
him.
married, and my mother-in-law backed off, but I didn't like being there because I knew she'd go.
Did
Actress.
When you split up, did he end up going back to his mum?
Yes, he went back to where they lived in Spain. So he went back to the life he knew before me, and which I think quite a few men do, don't they? Yeah. It was awful. It was really. And when I look back now, I stayed with my husband for too long. Do you know what I mean? Because it became such a difficult situation because of my mother and it was awful.
But do you think men can be a bit weak sometimes with their mums? You know, I do think... I would never ask anyone to choose, you know, it's your mother or me. But I do think for men, you have to... You know, if you've now got your own family, your wife, you've chosen that person, not to cut off your family, but to support your wife.
It became that with me.
If it becomes that your mother doesn't like her. I'm not saying this through personal experience, by the way.
It became like that with me and my husband. It was either... I mean, at the end, it was either it's your mother or me.
Really? See, that's...
She either comes to us to stay or you go home or you go back to her. And we stayed together. As it happens, it was wrong anyway, you know, I should have gone. But nevertheless, that's what it came to, and that's what caused most of the problems.
But you're a mother-in-law now.
I am a mother-in-law.
So...
I'm a very good mother-in-law. I'm very gracious.
Give us an example.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
a perfect mother-in-law.
I'm not interfering. Why are you laughing?
What about...
I care.
So say, for instance, your grandchildren, say, for instance, you had an opinion on them that differed from your son-in-law. Would you voice that, or would you keep that to yourself?
Well, that's not the point. The point is that I'm a lot older. I've been there before. And wiser. And I do feel, as a mother-in-law, that one has a right to say some things, don't you? But in the nicest possible way. I mean,
do any of us believe her?
No. Listen, my daughter and I are like that. There's no light there.
Yeah, but that's hard for a man. That's hard for a man.
I know. You're already annoyed. I'm not. I don't go round to the house if I'm not asked.
You're a mother-in-law.
I think you have to learn to be a reasonable mother-in-law, if you see what I mean. Because when Karen was alive, her husband Russ, I loved as my son. And then when Russ eventually got remarried, I had to learn to be the mother-in-law, because up until then, I felt complete right, whether I did or not, but it felt like a complete right. And then I became another mother-in-law last year, because one of my sons got married. Now, in this instance, I've got a beautiful daughter-in-law, and her mother sadly died about 3 years ago. So when they were getting married, I tried to do this and not offer too many suggestions, not like, why don't you do it this way? But I did say, if you'd like, I could help you with that, or what do you think? And as it turned out, she was very grateful for the help. But I think you have to learn to bite your tongue. You don't know what they say about you out behind your back.
Exactly. My first ever boyfriend, and we were together for 2 or 3 years, and his mum, she was so brilliant. She would be so lovely to me when he was in the room, and then the minute he walked out the room, she'd go, "Well, how to leave it?"
Really?
Couple of years. And she'd go like that and come back and be totally normal. But do you know
Did you tell him she was doing that?
No, I never said it, because I understand I've got very strong family ties, and nobody can say something to me about my family. So I would advise my daughters in the same way, just let it be, and they will see. But if you come out by criticising somebody's mum, you're going to fall foul of that. I mean, I feel so blessed that I love that my mother-in-law is just so wonderful, because I think that really would affect your life.
My mother-in-law is great.
It's terrible.
Eamon's mum's been fantastic, and actually it couldn't have been easy for her, you know, that we met. He was still married. I mean, although they were separated, we had a child. You know, I was a Protestant, he's a Catholic. you know, she's a very strong religious Catholic woman, and she's accepted me wholeheartedly into their family, which I'm really grateful for. Yeah. Because I think she could just see that her son was happy.
Of course.
And really, you just want your kids
Let's
to be
say
happy.
hello to Eamon's mum. She's
Hello,
in Northern
Mrs.
Ireland.
Holmes.
Hello, Eamon.
Hello, Mrs. Holmes.
And you
I
still
still
call
call her Mrs. Holmes. I'm very respectful.
Oh, I love that.